by the end of this, I was only left with this guy's the real deal.
Yeah.
Homeboy can do it.
If I see this guy, comes to Los Angeles,
Ooh.
I'm there.
Welcome to Every Album Ever with Mike and Alex. My name is Michael Mansour, and I am joined, as always, by my wearing an equally creepy shirt as me today, co-host Alexander Volt. Say hello.
Hello. Very nice. Very evil.
Very evil. This is Every Album Ever, the podcast where we listen to every single album in the world, one artist at a time. That's a whole new discography per episode. And today we'll be discussing every album by
The Ruins of Beverast.
Ooh.
I'm sure a lot of you are like, who is that?
I'm sure many, but this is requested on Patreon by Fresh Memes. I'm sure that is that person's birth-given Christian name.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, I'd never heard of them.
I never heard of them either. And yeah, I'm excited to talk about them.
I'm so excited to talk about them.
Yeah.
I feel like this is one of our bands.
Yeah, it might be.
I think so. Before we get into all that, please, if you want to help support us, like the video if you like it, subscribe. You know all this. Listen, I'm not going to do it again. You know what to do. But if you can do all that, if you would like to do that, please do that.
It helps us.
It does. And if you want to really support us, just like Fresh Memes did, it feels weird calling a human being Fresh Memes.
I'll call them Fresh Memes.
Call them Fresh. I mean, it is spelled with a PH. Fresh.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if you want to support us in the way he did, patreon.com/every album ever. There we got bonus episodes, super duper early access to the Loose Ends episodes. You get discounts off merch. You get to see our schedule in advance. You get to vote on polls to decide who we're covering next. We really need to record one of those poll episodes pretty soon. We have like 4 winners that we haven't started yet.
We have so much homework.
A lot of homework. Yeah, and you could also join the Discord where we hang out with our little community here, and you also get to throw out suggestions for our shorter brand new album episodes that we do. I started calling them EAE singles. So
singles, I like that.
Yeah, single album episodes, short, fast, sweet. It helps us keep things moving. You guys get to suggest them for us. Very
much on brand. Single albums, singles.
Yep. Hell yeah. And if you're tier 2, if you're bigger than Jesus, just like Fresh over here, you get to suggest these big old long episodes. And I don't think it's going to be a 2-hour episode, but these albums sure as shit are pretty long.
They're all long.
They're some of the longest albums we've ever covered in the entire show.
Yes.
Oh, God. So do there if you want to go that. Okay. And then, I mean, that's it for plugs for now, I suppose. Oh, yeah, there's also Spotify playlist. There's a playlist. I mean, there's going to be like 4 songs on it because everything is so lengthy.
Oh, I added more than 4 songs.
I'm going to add a lot more than 4 songs as well. But you can find a link to that in the description. We got playlists associated with basically every episode, and you can find all those at everyalbumever.com. Okay, so this man, rather.
Yes.
This is a guy more than a band. And I have some notes here from
Alexander Von
Meilenwald. I think it's Meilenwald.
You said that way better than I could have.
I believe it is because he is German.
Yes.
And we got some notes here from our history guy, Tom Osman. Please follow him on all social media. That's
pretty much what we're going on because there is not much about this.
Not much, but he did bring us some notes with some interviews. So follow him at Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Tom Osman Sounds, as well as his Substack, tomosman.substack.com. And don't forget his debut album, So Much for All Day's Work, which you can find all the links to all those in the description. I have an EP as well. I can't talk. Listen, dude.
It's not your day.
It's so hot.
I'm sweating already. I thought it was... I thought, hey, it's night outside. Yep. The sun's going down. I'll be okay. That was a lie, as Mike fiddles. Dude, with the...
It took seconds for me to overheat. I was fine all goddamn day in here.
I'm glad we're all it's strictly me coming into the room.
What? This whole giant room can handle one human being at a time. That's it. Jesus Christ, man. I have an EP as well. There's a link to that in the description as well, and it's cool and fun, and do that.
But, I'm going to fix my headphones so you do that.
Okay. I'm already done. But yeah, so Alexander Von, I think Meilenwald, and I mean, he has a whole bunch of pseudonyms. There's what is his other main pseudonym? Alexander Von. But Meilenwald, I think, is the way to go.
Yes.
If it's pronounced not that way, there's going to be one really annoying episode for people who know how to pronounce it. But This is fuck. Hold on.
Bam. He did play in a band before this, which I guess was prominent in the black metal community called
Nagelfar?
Nagelfar. Yeah, we mispronounced that for sure. They were active for almost like 10 years.
Yeah, good
so
while.
I'm sure fans of black metal may be familiar. Also, like what this man had to say about black metal and the scene when we get to his interviews.
Yeah. It's interesting. It's super interesting. He seems like a really gloomy and dark, morose kind of guy. I like him just fine, but
also like he's not like one of these annoying like purists. And even though he's been there for a long time, he's very much about advancing and evolving the genre without being an asshole.
Oh, and he is doing that with these albums. He is doing that. This is bands like so first of all, I fucking love this band.
Yeah.
And I didn't know how I was going to feel going to. I had a good feeling that they were going to be good. We listened to like 12 seconds of one song like months ago when it was first requested.
Let's do it.
I said, this is probably gonna be fun. Love them. And this is why like I love extreme metal and black metal. Like I'm not a huge black metal guy, but when I hear it done like this, along with like Altar of Plagues, I'm like, I do like black metal quite a bit. I like the more evolved modern version of it more so than like, I like the classic stuff a little bit, but yeah, it's pretty rough.
Yeah, this was punishing at times.
Yes.
But there are a few albums like I really love, and I think they're like damn near masterpieces. So and I know I don't want to like build it up and then have someone listen to it, but like that's just how I feel about a few albums.
They're really fucking good, and some of them, god damn it. I started this band out on a low note, and I say that as a purely spiritual, emotional low point, because I was in just a rotten mood, just a really low, depressed mood when I put on the first album. And that is not a thing you want to listen to when you're feeling bad. Oh my God. It destroyed me. I felt so fucking like I don't want to be alive anymore, dude. And I enjoyed it. I liked the album. It just made me feel like shit.
An hour and 8 minutes really isn't that long, but if you're already in that mood, because for me it was like the opposite, where it felt like an eternity.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but yeah,
certain. I mean, the stuff here is really long. The shortest album is an hour and 8 minutes. Yeah, basically, and the longest is like an hour and a half or an hour 20, something like that.
Yeah, I was beaten into submission.
Definitely, but as they kept going on, there's a thing with this pod where we have to judge each album or each band rather based on like what's the best for that band. What am I enjoying about this band? And you kind of get you fall into this little relative scale with that particular band. And I forget sometimes when I hear stuff like this, certain songs like fuck yeah, and I can't even control. It's a reflex. I have to crank it, and I fucking start moving with it. That doesn't really happen that often when I think about it. Like in the grand scope of like all the stuff we listen to, if a band makes me fucking do that,
it's few and far between.
Yes, holy shit, this is some intense, brutal, really, really soul crushing and depressing black/doom.
Yes,
God.
Yeah, it's quite the journey, and I was pleased where I ended, and well, not like his, but like where I stood on the band, and like his most recent output, which we'll get to, but
for sure.
But yeah, I think it's kind of a shame he's not talked about more.
It's insane. But what can be compared to him that is?
Well, One day, I'm gonna do a black metal episode and not bring up Death Heaven. There's no reason Death Heaven hasn't taken this guy out on tour. Except, well, maybe travel and visa and pandemic reasons.
Maybe, yeah.
But outside of that,
yeah, because first of all, they don't sound anything like them. They're such different bands. But
I think they like on the same bill would be killer.
It would be amazing. I don't know about these days with Death Heaven not really being black metal anymore, at least for the time being. But
like, oh man, I can't believe I missed this show. Like Zeal and Ardor is on tour with Imperial Triumphant. Like,
it's not Triumphant.
Or
I forgot what it's
those two bands don't sound any.
You're right. Triumphant.
Yeah,
I was wrong.
They don't sound anything like each other, but they're this perfect in like an odd bedfellow sort of way of like,
yeah,
we're playing this different kind of metal. Let's just stick together.
And one is far more accessible than the other. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, that's why Zeal's headlining.
Yeah, I love Zeal, but the other Imperial Triumphant, man, like that is a band that I love on the surface and respect the hell out of. But I only heard the last, not the most recent one. Was it the first album? It wasn't their debut.
No,
was it?
It may have been like their second.
Yeah, but the one that came out a couple years ago.
Yeah,
man. That's some abrasive shit. And I like abrasive shit, but god damn.
It's fucking nutty.
It's insane. It's absolutely insane.
So I think like Zeal would be another good choice for
yeah. And well, that's another thing. Like how often does this dude play live? Because I mean he is a one-man band, but I'm sure I know it's happened.
Yeah, there's no way this guy hasn't played like Road Burner Festival. Is that what it's called? The like
I think
awesome metal festival.
Yeah,
and,
it's Road Burn.
Yeah, Road Burn, not Burner. Like there's no way he hasn't played that festival. Or like Psycho Las Vegas. That'd be a good place for him to play.
Psycho Las Vegas, man, that's some grimy shit right there. A lot of good bands though.
Yes. So off the top of my head, that's what I would do if I put together tours, which I don't.
Yeah. Now we have to just become agents and make this guy known. I don't. So he's from Germany. Apparently he's from was it North Rhine-Westphalia, which is apparently the part of Germany where our history boy Tom lives.
There we go.
Which is a very neat coincidence. And also, he's a fan of this. This is the first time he heard them as well. Now he's a fan.
Yeah.
So that just seems to be the thing. Like no one's heard them or heard him, but we all kind of need to.
Yeah. If extreme music is your thing.
And I mean extreme. Yeah, this is pretty extreme.
And you're not like one of those like purists who thinks like death metal needs to sound like it was recorded in a bedroom on like on shit,
or black metal is more like that thing. Death metal.
Sorry, black. Yeah.
Black. Yeah, where they. Oh, God.
I'm gonna blame everything on the heat today. I'm
gonna blame it all on Varg from fucking Burzum, because he's like a perfect example of like it was pure. This had to be this way, and no, everyone was just copying the next person. It's like, first of all, you're a psychopath. Second, like anybody with that mentality where you don't believe in expanding and growing a genre and evolving it, like then get the fuck out of art. What the hell's wrong with you?
Part of why it's kind of dead.
I guess so.
Yeah.
There's not enough bands really innovating upon it, I guess. Or maybe there is a bunch and I just don't know, because I honestly, admittedly, do not dive that deep into black metal.
Someone take this man out on tour.
Please. For the love of God.
In America.
So we said several times he's a multi-instrumentalist and he's the one-man show here. And boy, can he do it.
Oh, hell yeah.
Because in that band that we can't pronounce, Nagelfar, he was a drummer.
Yeah.
And that's one thing about black metal is typically the drummers are kind of the best members, at least for like, tight black metal bands. And this is no different. He is a fucking machine.
Yes. And it's not like a, I feel like we've listened to other project or bands where, they do like extreme music, and their first record, they don't have like a band. So then they use, like MIDI or electronics, and then you listen to it and it sounds a little too perfect.
Yeah.
Not really the case here.
No, there are plenty of things that don't sound good, but it's not, it's not, there's some sloppiness, but it doesn't really feel like his performing. That's like the problem we'll talk more about it. So still active. Last album was released fairly recently. I wish we could have heard it in time for our last year's episode.
Yes.
But first album came out 2004. Most recent album 2021. And I hope he releases more, but it might be a while because he, it's hard.
Looks like there's some gaps in there.
Pretty big gaps. Yeah. At least like chunks, good chunks. So I guess we might as well jump in if I'm not forgetting anything. There's not really much history. We basically covered everything. There's very few interviews. There's really nothing.
Yep. We covered it and we just gave him our seal of approval. So
you're welcome. All right. So this is 2004's Unlock the Shrine.
They know who I am. They got my shield. Don't you get it?
Nice and cheery.
The eyes. I saw his eyes.
I was
Go ahead.
amazed how good this sounded.
I was surprised at how bad it sounded. At first, I was like, "This is a little bit rough." Because I was expecting clean. Like, I mean, he gets there, but this is like a dude recording it by himself.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
But
Also, this is fucking rad. This riff alone.
there's a lot of good riffs on this album.
Oh yeah,
Lots of times they're buried under cacophonous noise, but
indeed. Weirdly, like indie sounding riff.
yeah, and it's funny. Like, I feel like he gets darker from here, and then kind of makes a return to those more like indie or maybe goth roots later.
You never feel like he's pigeonholing himself. So this song is, how long is the song? Like 8 minutes?
Yes.
And it's considered one of the shortest songs of his discography.
Yes.
And things pick up around 3.5 minutes.
Yes.
If you want to jump to 3.5, just like, because
So
there's no
people-
way to ever cover what this band sounds like. Same song, a few minutes in.
Just to prove to people it's not poser music.
Yeah. And even then, this is like, man, this is very cool. I like this song a lot. I don't even know when the vocals come in. I have no idea.
Yeah. They're in there somewhere.
Yeah. You can kind of take a guess how they sound for the most part. Some synths. So there is vocals in this band, and it's very black metal-y. They're just very sparse because the albums are so big and long.
Yeah. Also, later on, I felt like the guitar solo was very like triumphant sounding, even though it's doom and gloom.
There was a lot of really uplifting, hopeful sections in, I mean, not just this album, but a lot of them where you're getting destroyed by these. That song fucking depressed the hell out of me. But then you get these little moments of like light in there, which is it's nice. But this album did make me feel like absolute dirt when I first heard it. Like, and it maybe not so much on multiple listens, but it's exhausting. It hurts. This is a painful fucking album, and the quality, the production on it, the shitty production, really helps it. Well, it helps that thing rather. It's way scarier and way creepier the shittier it sounds, which I think most people kind of would agree with that.
I wouldn't want to go below this level of shitty, though.
No. You wouldn't.
Yeah.
And we do.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that later. But go ahead. You give me something.
Yeah, I think there's lots of interesting things on here for a black metal thing. We get to the title track. The drums are a little overbearing.
Yeah.
But you get some like electronic instruments or samples.
Interesting stuff. Yeah, some kind of samples. I can't tell what it is. Like around 5:45, there's when it goes like full black metal and fast, there's some really weird things in that mix.
Yeah.
Little noises that I can't finger.
And then I don't know when I'm ever gonna work it in, but I don't know why. Lord of the Rings. It's always funny to me when Gimli goes, and they call it a mine.
So the song "The Mine" is what you're talking about.
Yeah. I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, that's all fucking rules, by the way.
Because there's Terminator drums, and also there's some singing towards the end.
Yeah.
That made me think of dwarves. So I was like, that's how dwarves would sing.
It is a lot of. I mean, he does it a lot. There's a lot of medieval sounding stuff. Very. I mean, it's not uncommon with black metal, I guess, but it's like a Gregorian chant style stuff. Really harmonized. And the shittier the production, the creepier those vocals sound. I like those vocals way more on these earlier albums than I do when we get them like with good production. The Mine, I think, is a fantastic closer. I White Abyss, which is like another. So
that song's fucking crazy because there's like space lasers.
So in between every real song is like an ambient transition song that always goes on for too long. They're all like fucking 3-4 minutes for a transition track, which feels like, it feels like overkill. It's just, I don't mind a couple of them,
especially on this one where this was like my first introduction, and it kind of felt unrelentless, and I walked away from this like, oh man, if this was a 40-minute album.
A lot of them I noted like, okay, album should have ended here and it would have been fucking amazing.
Yes.
they go on.
Yes.
But some of the transition stuff I don't mind, like God Sent No Sign is pretty creepy, and they're really good at the scary sounds.
Really good at making flanger effects creepy.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a trademark throughout.
Yeah. And I think my favorite of those little tracks is Cellar Tunes, which sounds exactly like you're in a cellar, and it's pretty fucking creepy. And it's short. It's also short. But as I was saying earlier, White Abyss, the closer, is one of those tracks, which feels like, come on, dude. Like, if The Mine was an awesome closer and a great big song, end it with that. Don't end it with this fucking noise.
Pew, pew.
Yeah, come on.
I'm over exaggerating. They're not pew pew laser noises, but
still,
yeah.
You felt the pew pew. Therefore, what's the difference? But yeah, it's a good album. It's there's parts of it that still feel pretty I don't know, underdeveloped, especially mostly in the writing and like the chords, and it just feels like, all right, that's like a standard progression there. The more we go on, the more unusual they get, the more unpredictable they get, and kind of creative.
I think I did get like second wind though, and even though I was exhausted, I think once Clock's Groaning Circles comes on.
Oh yeah, Clock Hand's Groaning Circles, yeah.
I was just like, man, he's like doing like Middle Eastern riffs.
Yep.
There's some like more doom parts.
Oh yeah, toward like in the second half onward.
Yeah, and also I think doom, this speaks more to my soul than
black metal.
Yeah, so whenever there's like doom parts, I'm always like, fuck yeah, brother.
I think I've learned with this band, I don't have a particular preference. I just prefer that you keep mixing it up.
Yeah,
like I'll
throw those curveballs,
dude. When there's a big heavy doom section that's going on for a while, and then the fucking black metal blasting comes in, I'm like yes, and the same exact vice versa. If it's like going black metal for a while and then slows it down and gets real heavy, same feeling.
Procession of Pawns.
Yeah,
that is like, I don't know why I thought of ELO, but I did.
It's funny you thought of ELO because I thought it sounded like the kind of thing that would play during like a Disney movie during like the villain's solo.
Yeah,
it's that goofy.
Yeah, like hellacious goofy.
Yeah. It doesn't feel scary at all. It feels like theatrical scary.
Yes,
it's kind of silly. And it's 4 minutes, which is, I think, fucking insanely long for that kind of thing.
And then, oh man, like Summer Decapitation Ritual.
Yeah. Fucking wonderful song titles.
Yes. At some point, and I can't describe how, and I should have time-stamped it, that turns into, there's something where I'm like, this sounds like a harmony like Kanye West would use.
Really? Is it during the full-on medieval part?
Or like towards the end?
Maybe not, because that's around... because that's around 3 minutes in when it goes all.
Yeah,
I mean,
like towards the end, I'm just like, there's something more like upbeat. It's always dark.
is it during the black metal section,
I mean,
like the fast blasting black metal section? Because that's the one the final third of. And these songs are that long. We have to cut them up into chunks.
Yeah, because these are very long. Also, I'm stupid. I was listening to it on YouTube, so it's not the best for timestamps.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just wrote, I'm all for this turning into a Kanye West song with metal guitars.
I'd be very against that. Very against that.
Well, good Kanye, not new Kanye.
I don't even like good Kanye. I'm all right. It's just not for me, baby. It's just not for me.
I mean, I guess you dodged a bullet there, but
I think so.
But yeah, just like crazy diversity, but never like in a way that's abrasive or like, hey, this doesn't belong here.
Yeah, it all flows.
Except for maybe, the ELO.
Yeah. And
Disney villain theme.
And the pew-pews at the end. But it is the most black metal sounding album, I think, out of all of them, especially that guitar tone, that flimsy, thin ass guitar tone. Like it's super black metal sounding.
Yes.
More so than I think any of them. But a good album. It'll bum you out if you're sensitive to that kind of stuff. But a cool opener.
Yeah.
Or debut rather.
Yeah. Decent introduction. Maybe not the best, but a decent introduction.
I knew I liked it already. I wasn't that worried after hearing this. Like if this gets, I don't think it's gonna get worse than this, and I don't mind this at all. So I think I was excited after this. But we're on to the follow up.
Also, you're wrong because you didn't give it anything. So obviously,
well, there is a couple exceptions, and honestly, I think I do like it. It's up there with like one of the ones I like the most. Even though there's stuff that I think is objectively better, I like it less than this album. But this next one is the long one, the longest album, I believe. Pretty sure this is an hour 20.
Yes, an hour 20.
This is a lengthy album. By the way, only half of these are streaming. The first album that we just talked about, Unlock a Shrine, that is not streaming. This one is streaming.
For the ones that aren't, go on YouTube, go on Bandcamp.
Support the guy. There's a deal on Bandcamp where you could buy his entire discography for like $30.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's the price of one vinyl record.
Yeah.
So
help a brother out. But here we are, 2006, Rain Upon the Impure. This is going to take a while.
Oh, shit. I should.
This song is 13 minutes, and it is the shortest of all the songs.
For some reason, I thought it picked up fat.
It doesn't pick up as slow as the rest, but it's still a minute.
Should I fast forward? It's gonna.
I mean, it's just mostly ambience.
It's gonna marinate on that.
No, let's leave it.
Yeah. Whoa.
That's a guitar, by the way. That's a guitar.
We're in the month of October. We can listen to spooky things.
Yes. This is extremely appropriate for Halloween. Hey, by the way, folks, this is how the whole album sounds.
I was like, is this a mistake?
I thought it was a mistake.
Is this the first album?
I thought it was a mistake.
Usually bands sound better.
I can't even, in good conscience, leave more of the song on. But I want it to play because this song is so good. But you can't tell. It's noise. So while this is playing, the last album was recorded apparently by Gnarl, a single named fellow, Gnarl, and they're both in a band, Graupel together, Graupel. But there's like no evidence of Meilenwald being in that band. It's just not a lot of info on these bands. But there's also now no info on this album. Shocker. It's such a good riff if you could fucking kind of tell what it is. It's so good. And the drums are even better than before. All right. I'm sorry, folks. I'm sorry. Worst, least favorite.
Same.
And it's such a fucking good album. Like, the songs are so good. Most of them, anyway.
Maybe.
But holy shit, this is, I think, the worst sounding album I've ever heard. Possibly the worst.
I don't know. I didn't pick up on the good songwriting the way you did.
Dude,
I was like,
the songs are so rad.
I was like, it sounds bad, and I think it sounds less innovative than the previous album.
I thought it was a very good step forward, which bummed me out that I couldn't even enjoy it because of how bad it sounds.
Like, if someone was like, these are actually like the demos or like the first, I 100% believe that.
The demos sound better than this shit. It's so bad, and it's not just all muffled and shitty like how you heard it at various points. It's that plus just a wall of noise and screams and really echoing screams and you really have to work to even hear what's being played, which sucks.
Yeah,
it's just such a bummer.
Yeah, it's like unrelenting, like bad sounding black metal screams.
Yeah.
I kind of got on board with Blood Vaults.
Blood Vaults is cool. That's like the first of the many sequels of Blood Vaults that we will get.
Yes, like that's the first time we get some like crunchy riffs. Some doom. It's not unrelenting blasting going on there. There's some choir stuff.
Yeah, the choir stuff. Also, I also like the choir stuff and the chanting stuff on this one too, because again, it feels creepier. It's not the most pleasant thing in the world, but I think it's very cool. And
I got timestamps for this one though.
I know it's around 4.5, right, for Blood Vaults, where some Gregorian chants start popping in there.
That one I didn't write. Oh, actually, sure. Let's do it. Not the particularly like the choir part, but like around here, it kind of feels like you're like transcending like above everything.
Yep, I remember this riff quite a bit. Ooh.
This is fucking cool.
And it sounds like it's recorded in a mile-long tunnel.
Yes. Or some people would call it a mine. Sorry.
A mine.
I'm over here cracking myself up like a
fucking psychopath.
Yeah, I love that part.
It's a cool part, and I like the song a lot. And I'm surprised you can't appreciate the greatness that is the fucking soliloquy of the stigmatized shepherd. God, these song titles.
No, I guess.
Love that song.
I guess those are the two good songs.
Dude, that song fucking rules, man. That is some good ass doom. Aside from it really is ruined by this recording. And that's another song that has like a happier section, like around 5 minutes. It goes into this. It almost sounds like rumble.
I didn't write. I got around this how long is around the 10-minute mark.
Yeah.
I'm going to hit you with some of that because I think this was like my favorite part. So you had the brutal blasts and stuff, and then you get. Oh.
Ooh. Of course, it's
pretty.
It's pretty. It's just so shitty.
That's what I got to work with.
I love it. I mean, I think it's great.
I thought it picked up a lot faster. Should have.
I mean, the songs are literally 15 minutes each.
Or maybe it's just like. And then we're back.
It's brief. Yeah, dude,
but
that song.
It's just a cool idea for this type of extreme music.
Every song is a fucking roller coaster because that song alone. So it starts out with like, and I say start out relatively. The main chunk, the first main chunk is just the best black metal riff ever. It's just so fucking good. And then around 5 minutes, it goes into the riff that literally sounds like the song Rumble, which is crazy. And then around 8 minutes is when the speed kicks in and all the black metal stuff comes in. And then that thing happens around 10 minutes, 12 minutes. It gets fucking catchy and upbeat.
It's a whole journey.
It's a whole journey. And it all sounds like dick.
Yes.
And it's such a good song, but it's so hard to enjoy. It's so hard to enjoy.
You know, we, fuck, my brain is mush. We did DRI and they re-recorded a lot of their songs.
Yes.
If Ruins or Alexander or whatever he wants to call himself wants to re-record these songs, I'm all for that.
I would be ecstatic.
Yeah.
But, so you don't care much for the song, but I'm talking mostly shit about the production quality. But the reason this is worst is not just because of the recording quality. It is the length. Oh my God, the length.
And yeah, I just think like outside of those two songs, there's really not like a lot of innovative things going on the way, like, I don't think that first album is perfect by any means, but at the very least, you're doing something. Yeah. You're doing something interesting here.
Yeah. Here, even though I love the first three epic songs, the rest, like Soil the Incestuous and the title track, and I guess those are the last two. Those two, it's only two songs, but goddamn, they're 30 minutes. It's a 30 plus the transition track. Was it Balna Kel and Bleak? Balna Kel the Bleak. That's over a half hour of just the final chunk of album.
Yes.
And if you cut out that entire half hour, you get a very cool 50-minute album that sounds like shit.
Yes. You
add on that 30 minutes, you get the worst album.
Yes.
Yeah. Damn. It's a bummer.
But not really.
You know from hearing an album that sounds this terrible that they can't possibly stay like this. Like there's no what happened?
Yeah, I don't know. I want to think these were like early recordings that this for some reason were released after the debut for some reason.
Maybe it's
I'm purely assuming
we have no idea. Our boy Tom, he says this is from Tom. He says, I can't find any credit, so I have to assume that Meilenwald did everything that would fit with this hilarious comment someone left on Discogs, this is the quote on Discogs. Why is the production such utter shite on this album, especially compared to the others, with a fucking straight-faced emoji. So yeah, this is like a weird sore thumb in the discography. Just sounds, I don't think I've ever heard an album that sounds this bad. Like honestly, demos included.
Even like Mayhem and
they all sounded better. They all sounded better than this. This is insane. Yeah. It's almost like he tried to make it sound unlistenable.
I feel like I've heard like Mayhem tracks that sound awful.
If you're counting live stuff, sure, but
yeah,
the studio stuff that I've heard, it's not great, but it's you can hear what's happening. This is really hard. Anyway, both of our worst and least favorites for all the reasons you heard, but we have plenty more to talk about. So let's move on.
Yes, we need to cover the funniest album title ever.
So that was the worst sounding album we ever heard. This is the best sounding album title we've ever heard. Even Tom noted that.
Yeah, and I guess I have to apologize to Neutral Milk Hotel fans for like being like, what is this guy's obsession with Semen? He's a fucking weirdo.
That's mostly you saying that.
That's me. So that's why I said me.
Also, there's no fans of that band watching this episode right now. I'll tell you that.
That'd be great if there was.
I respect them a lot more. If those fucking dork fans actually had open mind to listen to this shit, I would love them. But they don't. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This is fucking just making enemies. This is 2009's Foulest Semen of a Sheltered Elite.
Way better. Way better.
Way better. Except we get these goofy ass sung vocals now.
Some of his vocals, pretty funny. Yes. The cleaner they get, the goofier they get.
Very goofy.
This is why I said the bad production helped these kinds of vocals.
Yes, which on the album Tom got quotes for, I saw he said he likes to record his vocals drunk. I don't know if that was just for one album or every album.
Every album. I'm pretty sure it's every album.
That would explain a lot.
I want to get to that quote when we get to it. It's great. But it's so fucking awesome to hear it sound full the way you know he had it in him.
Yes. Seems like he had a very talented person who mastered this here.
Yeah, we'll talk about it when it gets a little quieter.
Yeah. But
I don't think we got to any vocals on the past two albums.
No, it's just...
That's how... They weren't like this. They were black metal, just so you guys know.
But yeah, I love this big, epic opening after that fucking...
Oh, yeah.
Dude, awful gloom recording.
I want to at least get to the Doom section up here. I think it comes in pretty quickly.
I mean, arguably, this is the most listenable thing we've on so far. But like this solo, it's not a black metal solo.
It's not, but it's fucking great.
It's so good.
It's clearly using an octave pedal with it too.
God damn.
Oh man, I kind of want to just fast forward to six.
Oh shit! Shit!
To run, was that what happened?
I stepped on the cord.
Oh shit! Well, might as well just put it like around 6 minutes in,
Yes.
because
Anyways.
that's when the more doom starts kicking in.
I'm keep it low because I got it.
Yeah, I got you.
I was rocking out too hard.
Dude, got too into it. Got too
I got way too into it.
overcome with the joy.
Glad your hand was on the fader.
You ready?
Yeah, 6 minute mark.
Yeah, there we go. Same song, but again, doesn't feel like a black metal riff.
No.
Or doom riff, really.
Still no vocal.
Really, it's impossible to find them, honestly.
It's like a werewolf though with the vocals.
Yeah. Where's Meilenwald?
Oh, I see what you did there.
All right. Okay, so we played enough of that song without getting to anything in the song because it's so fucking long.
Yeah.
So I think this is a cool album. I was a little disappointed by the writing.
Were you?
A little bit. I think it's a cool album, and it's obviously the best produced at this point by a fucking 1,000 miles. But I think it's one of the I would actually give this worst if the last album didn't sound so bad.
Interesting.
Yeah.
If I was like, oh boy, I hope they have better albums because I feel like a big old hypocrite if I'm gonna give this this got me back into it. I was feeling a little
You're a little worried.
Yeah.
Hey, understandably, that's literally one of the hardest albums to listen to, and then this is very listenable. So you hinted that this is mastered by HL, which is, I don't know how to pronounce that name. Heino Leja, Heino, and last name is Leja, who apparently, well, goddamn, the eclectic nature of this person's work. So Prodigy, Motorhead, Carl Cox, Green Day, Busta Rhymes, Lou Reed, Scooter, Limp Bizkit, and Einstürzend Neubauten. We're gonna cover them, goddammit. I need to learn how to pronounce that fucking name.
Yeah,
Blix's band.
I'm not gonna say it.
Yeah, good band, crazy band, but also impossible to pronounce.
Yes.
So it sounds great, obviously, but I only dislike, I think, one song, which is Gods and Sanguined Bestiaries, whatever.
Oh yeah.
That's the only song I don't care so much for.
That's where the funny clean vocals are at, or the first.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, they're on here. I don't really love any of the clean vocals on this album so much, but there are some genuinely like anthemic moments that I think are pretty cool. anthemic moments, whatever.
I was surprised at Kane's.
Oh, countenance fell.
It's this slow evil stuff,
dude. It's fucking brutal.
Usually, I'm not a fan of these like cheesy MIDI keyboard things in metal. Like it always sounds weak to me. They kind of work on that song.
He knows how to make them work. I love the way he does them almost all the time. That song is some of the most hideous, brutal, gross things I've ever heard. It's such a fucking abrasive song. My favorite song on the album, and where I believe truly, deeply that the album should have ended.
What's that?
The Restless Mills.
Yeah, that's...
Oh my God. So good.
Yes. You throw black metal guitar solos over a big like drum tom beat. Like I'm sold. I love a good tom beat. It has a wonderful build up to the end. The final section is really moving. Yeah, especially because metal on the drums are so like cymbal heavy.
Yeah,
that if you're able to pull off these big like booming things and still be brutal is
wonderful.
Yes, wonderful.
But after that, man, I still like the songs that come on after it. It's just completely. How long is this album? This is another. They're all fucking long, but I could probably pull it up right here.
I thought the closer was actually. I don't have the length on this one.
I don't have a length either, but goddamn, that closer is 15 minutes long. The song before it is 9 minutes. Jesus Christ! Like one bum track on these albums is gonna really bring it down.
It does. Yeah, I thought the closer was kind of perfect. I think at this point, I just like bought into his philosophy of super long album.
I absolutely did as well. At a certain point, I'm like, oh, that was only an hour? Huh? We ran by. But I do like that closer. What is it? Arcane Pharmacon Messiah?
Yes.
God damn, these song titles are a fucking mouthful. But
at this point, I still think the first album is more diverse, more interesting things happening. But goddamn, I thought this was like sleek and fun's not the right fun for me, but
enjoyable, but maybe not the most fun thing ever.
Yeah.
I knew that it was a sign of good things to come. I knew there was hope for me, even though I was like, I don't love this band. I like them for sure, but I knew there was more. This wasn't it for me.
Yeah.
But we were right. It does get better. Things get better.
It does get better.
And here we are. This is the follow-up. By the way, there is the sequel of Blood Vaults on this album. It's called Our Despots Cleanse the Levant. And that is also a cool song. But now we have the album, Blood Vaults. This is 2000. God damn it. These names are insane. This is almost a funnier name than this album. This is 2013's Blood Vaults, The Blazing Gospels of Heinrich Kramer. Is this the first track?
No.
Oh, thank Christ.
Yeah. No, that
should have been cut. That first track should have been cut, in my opinion.
This is like, there's lots of chanting throughout the discography.
Yep.
Ooh, this is creepy.
It's fucking cool.
It's very
so
cool.
Fucking cool. What's this guy? Heinrich looks like he's been through some things on the album cover.
If that's who Heinrich is, then oh boy, it's been a rough one. Oh, this is doomy as fuck.
This, to me, is an example of, like one of the better brutal songs.
Yeah. We finally got some harsh vocals.
There we go. We found vocals.
That's not even how they sound all the time.
No.
Sometimes they're like the shrieky stuff. Sometimes they're full guttural. He does have some range.
This guy has a lot of tools, but he manages to keep it in this like world he's created.
Yeah.
Oh.
What a great song. This is actually one of the few moments in the whole album where we get fast drums too. This is not a very fast album.
No.
So this is an interesting section because his vocals are doing something extremely rhythmic, but because of all the delay and how harsh it is, it sounds like he's just flubbling all over everything.
Just barking.
But it's really rhythmic.
Yeah.
This is great. All right. So you got an idea. That's a very fucking cool song.
Yes.
This, I think, well, this is without a doubt, in my opinion, without a doubt, this is like the Doom album. This is like his most Doom album.
Yeah.
This is a super slow. This one fucking beats it down, dude.
The song after that, Malefica, yeah, that is just a solid Doom track.
Yep.
I don't even know if I'd call it black metal.
Yeah. Really, really nice, clean intro to that one. They do dabble in a lot of cleans too. They're just in there.
I like.
Wait, before we move on to from that song, and Malefica. I don't know if I can know.
Whatever.
The sung vocals are heavily affected, sound like they're underwater with a whole bunch of effects on it. It's so cool. It's a great sound. It's a very cool, creepy sound. And when he does weird, odd stuff like that, I like it so much more than just a straight sung thing.
I agree.
Yeah, especially with this whole vibe and this. Yeah,
I agree. Because then we get Ornaments on Malice.
Yeah.
And yeah, that comes out swinging. But then you get these like churchy, almost like Al Cisneros.
Cisneros. Yeah,
Cisneros. Like his band Ohm, great band, awful name because it's generic. Almost like those kind of vocals.
Yeah, very, very. I wrote down Omi, not as in the band Omi, but as in Om.
Yeah. It really like runs the gamut of like everything he does well.
He utilizes his toolbox quite efficiently, I would say. Also, even though I don't actually love everything on here.
No, again, it's not perfect, but there's just like, I don't know, there's enough to keep you going.
Yeah, there's not a single song in here that I would say is a bad song. It's just as a whole, because you kind of have to judge all of these as a whole because they're so taxing.
Yeah.
It just didn't stick with me as much as the rest. I did like, at this point, it was like, okay, this is definitely the best it's ever been.
Yes.
It's still a very fucking good album.
Like the Wailing City, I'm like, are those horns or is that like some sort of sample on that song?
Around when?
I think in the opening.
Oh yeah. I mean, I know it's like, I really like the guitar tone in the opening, but I don't know what the fuck is happening in that mix.
Let me see.
Some of that pitch.
Let me see. Spires, the Wailings.
Yeah. I love that guitar tone. And if you take away like what he's playing, it's basically like a surf tone.
Oh yeah. There's the who did you bought up like some surfy guitar guy earlier?
Did I? I forgot him.
God damn it,
Seems like I
Mike.
forgot him. Dick Dale.
Dale.
I didn't bring him up, but he is a surf guy.
Yeah. I guess there's not horns, or maybe the opening's like 20 minutes.
How long is this song? This is not a short song either. This is a 13-minute song.
Yeah,
so it's possible that it's just a little bit further in. God. This is a really hard band to talk about unless we have like 1,000 timestamps, and we have timestamps, just not enough. I mean, God, they're so fucking exhausting.
Failed Exorcism, more chanting, as there should be.
More 15 minutes. But that song does go super duper tribal. It's really good. The sung vocals, I think, are a little goofy, but it's cool. Around 4 minutes in. It's a very cool section, though.
I think this album does stumble a bit after that.
I get it, but I like it. So there's a couple things. it's in that song of Failed Exorcism. It's one of the few songs that goes full black metal, along with Ordeal, which is a legitimate 3-minute black metal song, which is
some of the shortest songs.
That is the shortest full song in the entire discography.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I couldn't even believe it was there.
I was just like, why is Trial and Ordeal two separate? This make a one.
Honestly.
And you know what? Even if he made it one song, I think it would still be
the shortest regular song. But so those like the only noticeable black metal sections. The drum production on this album is lacking. Everything sounds great.
It doesn't sound as strong as the previous album.
Everything sounds really big and powerful, but when it goes black metal, you can kind of tell the snare is there. You don't feel it at all. It feels flimsy, and it's mostly just another wall of noise. So like the where it should be really satisfying, you hear this really speedy crack of the blasting. It's just more like thumping than anything else. So it does take some of that stuff away from me, even though I do like the song Ordeal a lot. And then the closer was it Monumentum, rather. Monumentum, really cool Western sounding guitars, really dirgy.
I think I may have had Fatigue.
Fatigue. It is cool regardless of the fatigue. That's
I think I'm gonna like come back to that when I'm not listening to black metal, so I can pick up, because I was just like, you're not doing any. I think I was just so impressed by Failed Exorcism. Yeah. That like everything after that, I was just like,
and if the album ended there, it would have been a lot. These are so long. There are always at least one 15-minute song too long.
I wish I don't think Bandcamp lets you make playlists.
Really?
I wish they would.
Well, if you buy it on Bandcamp, you can just
download it and then
put it whatever.
Yeah, I might do that, because I would love to like make a playlist from these albums.
And if you check that link in the description, you'll find one. We'll be right back. Sorry. I think that's about it.
That's about it.
So I think it's getting better. They're getting better, but there's still some hiccups along the way. But goddamn, if you're a fucking Doom fanatic, this is incredible stuff. But now we got two left, baby. Two left.
Yeah. Are we going to form like Voltron? We're going to find out.
We're going to find out. But before we move on, Tom noted, he's like, it's like typo negative if Peter Steele had a very sore throat. And there are moments where I'm like, well, he does sound a little bit like Peter Steele, doesn't he?
A little bit, yeah.
A lot of moments where I'm like, he sounds like Michael Gira too. And there's a lot of moments that honestly sound like typo negative. Check out that episode, by the way. It's very cool. It's obviously a lot more brutal, but still. I think that's about it. So here we are, next album. And we got a few quotes here from some interviews, but this is 2017's Exuvia. Exuvia, the forbidden one. Okay, Yu-Gi-Oh joke for you.
Damn, I never got into.
Yeah, it's okay. Don't.
Yeah.
Don't.
I already got into Magic the Gathering. I don't need Yu-Gi-Oh.
Less nerdy than Yu-Gi-Oh. By the way, I don't watch Yu-Gi-Oh. Just I was a kid once. All right, go fuck yourselves. I'll watch it again. Okay, I'll watch it again.
All card games are equally nerdy, unless you're playing Yu-Gi-Oh with like the
fucking dual disc. Fuck yeah, dude! I just finished Inscription.
Oh, fuck yeah.
I finished it yesterday.
I told you I was going to finish it, and I didn't.
You didn't? I implore you to.
Okay.
Because I thought I was like, all right. Once you get back into it, it keeps up the greatness. It finds a way to keep up the greatness.
It's more a reflection on me than the game.
I stopped playing for like 7-8 months.
There you go. Yeah.
We're talking because the song takes a long time to start.
But
it's a cool intro. But it's a fucking great intro. What a weird intro, though.
I love it.
These fucking female vocals are so unsettling.
Also, I feel like in metal, you don't really have a song build like this. It's like they move on to things, but I love this like still playing that like
Oh, they are
slow
Yeah,
guitar.
they are letting it simmer.
Like off the top of my head, like Orion does it, and there's probably other songs, but it's not.
Yeah, it just kind of lets it go for a long time.
Yeah.
Crank that one.
We got vocals still.
Yep. And that clean guitar is still there, and it's gonna stay there for a while. It's like someone's pulling his stomach out of him.
Yeah.
By the way, the song is 15 minutes. Shocker.
Listen to 3 minutes of it.
Oh, and now the drums sound fucking fat and juicy again.
God damn. That's a fucking transition, motherfucker.
Hell yeah, it is.
Like,
And even though we listened to like fucking 4 minutes of it, it is not doing it justice. You got to hear all 15. Best personal favorite. Fuck yeah, dude.
boom, boom,
Dude. This album fucking rips.
a masterpiece.
It kind of is, yeah.
Because I didn't love anything from start to finish. I love this album start to finish.
Yeah, it's
like,
yeah.
This is like black metal doom masterpiece. Like,
yeah.
I was so blown away by how much I love this album.
Dude, some songs here I still think about that I can't help it. And they're long songs. They're all such long songs, but nothing feels, even though this is a lengthy album like the rest, you want everything on here the way it is.
You know what? I regret we didn't play that song longer because we were like right on the cusp of...
Put it, baby, put it.
So going back just like a minute forward, who plays a drum beat like this on a metal album? You still got the blasting, but like
the accents are different. Yeah.
Like,
also this riff is beautiful.
Oh man, we're just gonna review it.
So good
with it playing in the background.
The synths are so well done.
They're unsettling, and
it's all very pretty too, even though it is extremely depressing and really brutal.
And then I guess there's a theme or some influence of like Eskimos or Native American indigenous people.
Yeah, something cold. Imagine. There was a lot of Native American vocals on here too, or like sections. And by the way, those I'm forgetting which songs they're on. There's a couple of them, but it's brilliant because we've heard plenty of times in rock music, like some Native American chants and whatever.
Usually it's done more for like an intro or an outro.
Or something like that where you hear the element and then all of a sudden it feels like, okay, now this is a Native American section. Here, it doesn't feel like it's an out of place. It doesn't feel like it's a thing taken from someone else and put it in the middle of this heavy context. It feels just as creepy and unsettling as ingrained as everything else here.
Yes, this is if you want to pair this with a movie, perfect with the new Predator movie, Prey.
Ooh, I've not seen it.
Oh, it's fun.
It's fun? All right.
It's fun.
All right.
I had a good time.
This is like basically him, Meilenwald, like maybe not fully evolved, but basically in terms of cohesive songwriting standards, this is brilliant because it's not just there's no more focusing on more doom or more black. It's just this whole new thing that he has now. It's his whole new, it's all him. It's his whole new style. It's a whole, sure, if you don't know extreme metal or you're not into brutal music, it'll all sound the same to you, but it's all the elements. It's all the pre-elements. It's all this weird little indie elements where it's like, that's an indie riff, but played like black metal. All of that combined with just brilliant production and really crazy performances.
Mm-hmm. And then even some on track 3. Is it Mayer?
Mayer. It's how's it spelled? Maere.
Yeah.
That song fucking rips. Holy shit!
It's so good, and it's more gothy.
Yep.
But it's still crushing. It's still brutal.
It's hideous and wonderful. The synths on that song are expertly done. The whole 11 minutes just flies by.
Oh, you know what? This is still a long album, but there's no filler track.
Exactly. There was that. Sure, the shortest song on here is 8 minutes 51 seconds. No, sorry, 7 minutes 45 seconds. Getting real short there, but there's nothing feels unnecessary, even though it is long, and you can make the argument that a lot of it is unnecessary if you're not into it. But
yes, this is like cohesive vision.
My favorite song on the album, and probably my favorite song of Ruins of Beverast, period, Towards Malakia. Oh my God, that song that song does things to me, dude. That song does things.
Yeah. I didn't even try to sum that song up. I just like, that is so fucking good.
It's a perfect song, really.
And it does what you were talking about, bringing in
everything,
the Native American elements in there. That is like the like, this doesn't strike me as a band that releases singles, but if you were going to release a single,
it would be,
that's the one.
A fucking 9-minute single for sure. But that one takes a lot of turn. I believe it's that song that it makes these changes on a dime, like really fast change. Or maybe that's Mayer. No. I think it's that song. Because there's like a million different riffs and places that song goes, but it's all so abrupt, which is actually kind of uncommon with this band. He doesn't make too many abrupt changes. Usually, like they all kind of flow into each other, but it works. It feels heavier. It feels more crunchy. And that's not even counting all the pretty parts, because like in the main riff, there is this ringy, clean guitar, really loud, ringy, clean guitar that's playing this nauseous, twisted ass riff. And it repeats like 1,000 times, and it just gets embedded in your brain, and it feels great. It's a crazy riff. It's so cool.
It's funny how there was a lot of chanting on the previous album, and then here it feels like the chanting is replaced with the riffs.
Yeah.
But I think this is like the best guitar playing and like the best drumming. Like
drumming is pretty damn good.
There's so many like unique things throughout this album that I wasn't like prepared to hear in something this crushing and brutal.
Yeah. You're right about the guitar playing too. Like there's what is it? No. I'm thinking of something else. No, scratch that. But I was looking at. Of course, I can't pronounce it. Surtur Barbar Maritime, track 2. I think that could be a contender for Meilenwald's harshest vocals on that song.
Yeah,
like goddamn. And then of course it still has like the chanting stuff in there as well.
That seems like a good segue into.
Oh, it's so good.
But how he records his voice.
Well, so this is taken from what interview is this taken from?
Decibel.
Is it from Decibel? No, it's from
my bad.
Bard Mythology.
My bad. There is Decibel.
There is one
somewhere in here
later on. Yeah. But this is from Alexander. He says the recording was divided into 2 sessions. Rhythm guitars, drums, and bass were tracked in Bavaria, completely sober, whereas the one in Berlin, where I recorded vocals and various sound experiments, deteriorated into physical and mental debauchery. Quite frankly, sleazy, if I may say so. Says I drink a lot before recording vocals. The voice is the band's unearthly, inhumane, and threatening element. The music experience is enormously intense for me when receiving it intoxicated, and I find it essential to harness this energy in my work. Furthermore, I really enjoy the feeling of next day listening without detailed memories of performing the vocals. That's actually a really good idea. I like that.
For certain people, for some people.
No, I like it's good to hear it fresh without having any but also getting super hammered and blackout isn't ideally the way to record vocal tracks. Unless it's these kinds of vocals where it's just
yeah, it doesn't really matter.
I suppose, yeah. And then he talks a little bit about the lyrical themes. The lyrics, I thought they were going to be way more Satan-y and devilly. They're not. They're more like folklore and mythology.
Which makes sense if you see the album cover too.
Yeah.
This is a very like cohesive vision here.
Yeah, he does it for like the next album as well. I mean, there's only albums that I've read anything that he said about it, but and then you mentioned this at the very top with his relationship with black metal in general on the scene.
Because I read these after I listened to the albums, and then I was like, yeah, I agree with this guy like wholeheartedly.
He says everyone in the contemporary scene always complains about the current state of affairs. By 95, they said the movement had followed Euronymous to the grave, yet those declaring black metal dead kept on playing and supporting it. By the turn of the millennium, it had apparently died again, this time in the late 90s when it became a common part of heavy metal and lost its radicalisms. All the while, the ones issuing death notices and proclaiming good riddance were the ones keeping it alive. Even I was going on like this in the first decade of the 2000s, after certain bands who tried reestablishing black metal to what it was during the early 90s had failed. They obviously never understood what it was like back then, because this was never a romping ground for frustrated little snots shocking their parents with Nazi babble. Nobody will ever succeed in evoking the Dark Throne and Mayhem spirit by hitting record on a ghetto blaster and recording uninspired power chord bullshit with Satan lyrics and drum computers.
That's the greatest thing anyone's ever said about black metal and why it should like. Well, he didn't really say like should progress and evolve, but yeah. Why would you try to recreate a moment in history? History is the definition of history. It had happened. Yes.
Therefore,
move forward.
Yes. You don't even have a choice. You are moving forward. You just ride the wave.
Yeah.
But he talks a little bit about his mental health in the same interview, which is, man, he says, I'm not a particularly depressive or sick-minded person. Find it a bit cliched and doubtful how many artists draw inspiration from seemingly endless angst and all manner of private hells endured. Yet his music is some of the most upsetting and dark. You mean the guy who wrote the album The Foulest Semen said that? Apparently. But let's see. What else am I seeing here? Yeah, other than that, like he seems like a pretty level-headed, normal dude. Even like he even makes a good point here that like a lot of that really dark inspiration from hard lives or whatever, it doesn't necessarily lead to good ideas.
Mm-hmm.
It leads to passionate ideas. It doesn't always lead to good ideas, I guess. That's a good point. But in the case of this album, whether or not he had mental anguish making it or not, it's fucking incredible. And I was having trouble at first. I was like, is this the best? I don't know if this is the best. And then going back, I was like, this is so good. So good. It gets better on multiple listens. This is so crazy. I
was like, there's no way the next album is going to be better than this. I apologize for building that up in my head, but
I also enjoyed the next album.
No, the next album is
wild.
Is second place, but it's not
a far second. At least not to me.
Well, it's not super close, but it's still awesome.
Here we go, baby. Here's the last album. This came out 2021. This is the Thule Grimoires.
Very cool, starting off like almost more electronic.
This is basically the intro fucking Evil Empire from Rage.
Now I can hear like Tom Morello like scratchy guitar.
God.
Now that
I don't want him in here. Get him out of here. You would make it a cartoon. You'd make this band a cartoon. So this is a little bit of shorter intro. Is only 12 minutes. Man, this is a good fucking riff. It just takes a while.
It does. I also like that he's this like not content staying in one spot, it seems.
How so?
Like, it seems to be like there is an effort to make each album different.
Yeah, for sure.
I just saw I hesitate to call it a documentary, but the new Bowie movie, Moon Age Daydream. and they play an interview where he talks about how he likes to creatively, he compared it to being in the ocean. Creatively, he gets to a place where he feels like he has both feet planted on the floor, and he likes to push himself where he feels like he could barely touch. And he's like, that's when I record.
Interesting.
And I kind of get a similar thing from this dude. Obviously, sounds nothing like Bowie, but kind of like the same mentality, it feels like.
Yeah. God damn, I like this a lot. This is full black. This is the black metal I like.
Also, yeah, just having those like ringing chords, it just makes it more unique and sets you apart from all the other blasting.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It also gives you more to hold on to music-wise.
100%.
Yeah. All right. So this is a long song like all the others, and things ease after a while. In a very post-metal kind of way, almost ISIS-like.
Dude, this album
Fucking rules.
It's fucking wild too.
I listened to this one and the last one back to back, and I was like, I have no idea which one I like more. They're both so fucking good. I needed to take some time.
They're so different.
They're very different.
That I knew I liked Exuvia better.
Yeah.
But this is, man, what a crazy fucking journey this one takes you on.
Dude, he's singing now.
Yeah.
I mean, you didn't hear it in that song, but boy, is he singing now.
Like on Cormac Neal.
Oh yeah, Cromlech Nell.
Like he does like the inverse of Deaf Heaven, where he does like shoegaze over the black metal.
Yeah.
But not in a way that's like overtly shoegaze.
No, it still feels really bitter and dark and black metalist.
And then let me tell you,
by the way, his clean vocals really do remind me of Typo Negative, like on this album specifically.
Yeah. No, they're less goofy here than
I think they're more goofy. They're one of the things I don't like about the album.
Let me tell you something. I had quite the epiphany during Anchorus and Furs. First of all, really nailed the in Furs part, because I hear that, I think Velvet Underground, Venus and Furs. So very much nailed that like almost psychedelic vibe. And there's something very 90s about this album.
Really?
Like, I don't know, you were probably immune to it but there was this huge group called Enigma.
Oh no, I don't know Enigma.
Also from the 90s, and it was like this new age electronica music. And I thought about them during this song.
Oh boy.
And I was just like, that's funny. They're also from Germany. I wonder if he's a fan
of the Enigma?
Of Enigma.
Oh, Enigma. I was like calling it the Enigma.
No, Enigma. Sorry.
I like the Enigma better.
That's a better name. But also out of curiosity, I just started looking them up. They have very metal album covers.
Interesting.
So I'm like, what a weird unintentional connection, maybe.
Yeah, interesting.
For people who know that band and remember the commercials of like that new agey.
That sounds awful, but there people watching this know that.
Oh,
they know what you're talking about.
Dude, there were like compilation album commercials, if you're old enough to remember those.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Where you get like they play the snippets, and it's like these people and like it was a whole thing. I digress, but I very much got that energy from
holy shit
from this particularly that song.
That song I think is the only moment in the entire album I'm like, right, it's not flawless because of the sung vocals there.
It was just so bonkers to me that I have to give it up.
It's still a good song, especially I do like those fucking Xena female warrior. Like,
oh hell yeah!
Yeah, in the beginning, I mean he does them like. Not, I'm sure it's not him doing it, but they do recur a few times, but they always sound pretty cool. The Tundra Shines, which is the second track, it's like a happy riff. It's a happy riff.
Initially didn't like that song.
I think it rips.
but around the 5 minute, 5 minute 30.
It's around 6 minutes. Yeah, dude,
sold me.
Fucking rule. Super cathartic and anthemic.
Yeah.
And also the drums on that one are really interesting. Super rhythmic. Way more.
Oh yeah. You get like the almost like a military snare roll on that song.
But that's also a good example of what I don't like about the sung vocals on this album. There's almost like a disturbingly little amount of reverb on his vocals. Like they're so clear and up front and like as a focal point.
So good with the flanger aquatic vocals on the previous album.
Yeah, it's
previous albums.
I don't like knowing it's a real guy making this music. Like I like thinking it's this fucking this ethereal monster thing.
Yeah, this guy's straight out of Bloodborne.
He really is. And some of the music is too. But still, some of this is like the best writing he's ever done. Like some of these, they're so well done.
I think I saw one of the songs on here. I was like, I think that's one of my favorite or song titles. Mammothpolis.
Oh, Mammothpolis.
Which is
Mammothpolis.
I don't know if it's meant to think about mammoths. Ironically, it's not crushing and brutal.
No, it's like electronic.
Yeah, it's very cool.
It's very fucking cool.
Very
unlike
unique.
Anything they've ever done before. It fucking rules.
Again, going back to that Enigma.
Ben, I wish I knew the reference. I'm also glad I don't know the reference.
After this, I'm gonna find their song, their most well-known song, and you probably won't know it, but I'm gonna play it for you anyways.
Polar His Hysteria probably, I think, has the beefiest and best sounding bass on any of these albums.
That song blew me away how epic it was, and it's one of his shorter songs.
It's unbelievable how short 7 minutes feels.
This man doesn't have to write 15-minute songs. He can do it. He can do it in like 7.
Yeah,
insane.
Yeah, it shouldn't fly by like that. Again, it puts you in its own time frame. It puts you in its own like universe.
But that's why these two albums are the best, because they just fucking.
They're so damn good. I'm bummed I didn't hear it last year because it would have made my list.
Yeah.
So fucking good. Who did what is it? Matthias Landis worked on this. So he also worked on apparently Triptychon's 2019 Robert concert, which Tom is a big fan of.
I need to check that out because I like that band. Also check out our Celtic Frost.
Hell yeah.
And Probot.
So I guess there was maybe someone suggested at some point that he had other musicians playing this record. That is not true. He says, we were thinking about some session instrumentalists and vocalists indeed, but because of logistic issues coming along with the pandemic, that couldn't happen. So I performed everything myself as always before, with some contribution from Michael Zeck, who's been a producer for like the longest. Mm-hmm. On guitar, effects, and arrangements on Ropes into Eden and Mammothpolis. And then he goes into a lot of like the concepts behind it. It's very I don't know, heavily inspired by Greek mythology, and there's like a lot of, is that Greek mythology? There's a lot of stuff. It's a whole concept. It's a whole fantasy. We're not going to jump into it. It's neat if you want to do that, but it's fucking crazy. And honestly, the last album is still so fucking good. Exuvia is just so fucking good. It would still be the best, but I would have had a lot more trouble choosing between the two if it weren't for these vocals. Like the song vocals really dragged it down. Like they're good. He sounds fine, but it made me remember that it's a guy playing this music, where the last time I was just zoned out in this universe.
He's some like ethereal Lovecraft monster.
Yep. He's Azathoth. He's something like that. Yeah. He's formless. But when I hear a dude singing, I'm like, that's just a guy singing. Still amazing album.
I think it was so bonkers, and like, at this point in his career, like, I'm just like all for whatever he does.
Honestly, and even despite that, this is the most advanced thing he's done. It's the most diverse thing. He is getting better and better. I think the writing is like, it's fucking on par with the last one, if not like a little bit more jam packed because it is more unpredictable.
Yeah, and even though history says his next album's probably going to be a few years out, whenever it drops, I'm going to be fucking ecstatic.
Hell yes. By the end of this, I was only left with this guy's the real deal.
Yeah,
Homeboy can do it.
If I see this guy, comes to Los Angeles,
Ooh.
I'm there, fucking there.
When was the last time he toured anything? Does he tour? I don't even know.
I saw live clips on YouTube.
Oh, there it is. Then he must
plays
play
live shows.
Good. There we go.
100% does.
Play in America. Come on. All right. Well, anyway, we made it to the very end. Holy shit, that was fun.
Yes.
Let's do a little recap.
So let me pull this.
And this is a recap for both of us because we have the exact same picks.
Yes, worst, least favorite, Rain Upon the Impure. This awful sounding.
The worst sounding album that we've covered on this podcast, probably. Like in terms of sheer production, I don't think we've ever covered anything like that.
There's had to be like punk album.
Nope.
No.
Because here's the thing. I've listened to punk for so long. I've grown accustomed to like the shitty sound, but I never had to focus to hear what the riff was because it was so bad.
I feel like that's Mike's area of expertise. He has final say on that.
It's so bad.
And then best personal favorite, Exuvia. It is a like metal masterpiece that like if you're still with us, like bless your heart, and or not because this is a metal evil episode, but like please listen to that album if you like heavy music. Like
that's the one.
I don't know why people aren't talking about it more.
It's insane. This is why you can't trust lists. You can only trust two schmucks who get suggestions from people who pay them.
That was the other nice thing about this album or this band is kind of like just walking in on a blank slate.
Yep.
There's no expectations. It's just whatever I feel like.
Yep. And while I did feel this band did make me feel emotionally awful at certain points, that made me appreciate it even more. It made me feel shit, man. Made me feel shit. Goddamn. So thank you so much, Fresh Memes, Mr. Memes. Thank you for suggesting this. And well, look at that. We're a little bit more rich because of this.
Yes.
What a lovely. And
that's part of why we started it.
It really is.
Forget sometimes.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Goddamn. All right. So thanks so much for listening and watching and hanging out with us. If you're still here, you're a goddamn soldier. So thanks for that. Subscribe if you like the video, if you like it, talk shit in the comments, leave your picture best and worst. If you also know this band, like, there's got to be someone. If you found us and you're new and you've never heard of us and it's because of this band, you're the people we want. God damn it. You could also find the full Ruins of Beverast playlist. Link in the description. You got playlists associated with most episodes, and you can find all those at everyalbumever.com. Don't forget to join the Patreon, everybody. Patreon.com/everyalbumever. Bonus episodes, early access to our loose ends episodes, discounts off merch. You get to see our schedule in advance. You get to vote on all the polls to decide who we cover next. You get to join our Discord and hanging out with our little community there, as well as suggest brand new albums that came out this year for us to discuss on our shorter episodes. And if you're tier 2, just like Fresh Memes over here, then you can suggest these bigger, longer, full discography episodes. It's the only way we'll do it from now on. And it's been that way for the past year at this point. So you can follow me on all social media at PanderMonkey. You can follow Alex on Instagram.
At Mother Puncture.
Hell yes. Don't forget to check out my debut EP, Pander Monkey. You can find a link to that in the description. And lastly, but not leastly, our history guy, Tom Osman. You can find him on not all social media, just Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Tom Osman Sounds, as well as his Substack, tomosman.substack.com, where he writes about music and his music, his debut album, So Much for All in a Day's Work, which you can find a link to in the description, as well as every. All right. We done. We wrapping it up. What's it gonna be?
Pale Wolves.
Which one's that? Did we even talk about that song?
I thought you said it was your favorite.
Oh no, the following track is my favorite.
Oh, let's do that. Whatever. I don't care. Any track from that.
fucking any track.
That's how good that is.
Hell yeah. So this is Towards Malakia. Fuck yeah. So thank you so much for listening and watching. See ya.